few years ago, members of the iRacing V8 Supercar community came together to articulate an idea. Then, on August 10, 2014, the V8 Supercars Online Premier Series had its first race day at Circuit of the Americas, and Madison Down claimed the victory.
Madison Down, the winner. Phil Sells second, Hampstead third, your podium, and Sean Kelly not far off it in fourth. For what a result, what a race.
This first test season, however, would go to TTL's Richard Hampstead. 2015 was a defining year in V8 Scops, the first year-long championship in iRacing V8 Supercar history. The season was filled with many highs and lows. Few drivers were triumphant, most faced heartbreak. Young gun Jared Filsell was crowned our champion. But in 2016, it's a new championship and a new opportunity for our passionate sim racers. Who will be champion?
Hello and welcome viewers to round 8 of the iRacing V8 Supercar official online series here at Watkins Glen International. My name is Jake Burton, and alongside me tonight I will have Sam Sutton, but we're on for a bit of a cold one tonight. 23 degrees the track temp out there, so absolutely freezing night here at Watkins Glen, but should be a good race nonetheless. We've got a lot of high tier drivers in there, names like Jared Filsell, Josh Rogers coming in to have a go, as well as Kazuki Umeshima, Radical's pro driver, so it's going to be quite a cool field tonight.
Yeah, we've got a SOF of 3,251. I'll get my numbers right eventually. And the Radicals driver. We've got also Filsell and Rogers who've come out for a bit of a play in the official series tonight. We're making a great race.
Yeah, that's it. Obviously, Filsell and Rogers will probably be a little bit under practice. We just come off a V8 Scops round yesterday at Interlagos, so that probably explains also we're missing Ethan Grigalt tonight, the main championship contender to Bo Cubis, but Cubis is out there and he'll be looking to take advantage of a relatively high soft while Ethan's not here. Yeah,
can confirm that Rogers was asking what's the setup and how much fuel do I need about a minute ago for this race. We do have 25 laps coming up and it should be a good fun race. This is the super speedway of the road courses, and you get Supercars. It's a very fun track. Jake and I, we had a great race Wednesday night in LSR series, and hopefully these guys tonight will have the same effect.
We've had good races all week, Sam, really. Interlagos yesterday as well, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Definitely a draft-dependent track, so these guys are going to, have to use that draft to stay up there. And first guy to put a time down is actually Corey Preston, but El Nabi's actually beaten him, so it looks like mid 109s, maybe even low 109s will be the pace once this second lap comes in, and it'll be a massive difference. The second laps will probably be a lot quicker given the tyres will take ages to warm up.
We're just watching Corey Preston on starting his second lap. Guys to watch coming later will be Kazuki Ueshima. He started his lap pretty late. Filsell and Rogers also started late. Cubis has just jumped up to pole on a 109.43.
Yeah, so I'd be expecting 8s, actually, looking at that. That's a very quick time from Cubis.
You'll probably find about 3 or 4 tenths on your second lap, just because the tyres heat up and get more confidence through the S's in the carousel, which is where most of the time the Red is.
And Filsell actually 1x'd his first lap, so it's all going to come down to the second for Jared Filsell. Rogers only doing a 10 flat.
You see Corey cross the line, and we'll pop over and have a look at Cubis.
Out of the last corner comes Corey Preston, that JMS iRacing Falcon. Up to the line, it's going to be a 109.6, so 3/10th improvement from Corey.
Yeah, and that registers, but El Nabi pips him to pole on a 4.2. Cubis. So Filsell's just starting. There we go. He's put a lap, and we're looking at Cubis on the screen though, coming to the final corner.
Yeah, Filsell's pushing it hard, and I'd say he's probably going to beat Filsell on this one. This looks like it should be a high 108 as he's coming to the line. That's going to be, no, 109.2, so Jared Filsell is your provisional pole sitter.
looking at Rogers now coming to the final corner.
Yeah, you can tell Rogers is unprepared. He's a little bit skatey on the rears, but he's still going to come across the line and do a 109.5, which is good enough for P4. So
If
Rogers
that's what
learning quick.
unprepared gives you, I'll be unprepared every time.
Yeah, this guy's just an absolute joker with how much pace he has.
We're just watching
Unreal.
Kazuki Iwashima. He's on his last lap now. Just exited the S's towards the bus stop.
Did he park? Oh no, he started late.
He started
Yeah.
about a lap later than everybody else.
Yeah, so it's always good to see some of these sim racers from around the world coming in to see how they go in the V8s. I know a few years ago, Pablo Lopez, a well-known Iberica racing team driver and ex-Radicals driver, used to come and race the V8 and was relatively quick, and it, of course, used to be the pro car for those dinosaurs who were back around in 2010. Umashima comes out of the last corner. That'll almost be a 1X. It might even be one, but comes to the line. That's going to be a 10-1 for Umashima, so that'll bring him up to P15. Obviously a pro driver and a very high I rating, but not familiar with the V8, so he'll be starting back in the field. So to run through qualifying results so far, I don't think many guys have had laps left, but current pole sitter is Jared Filsell for ANZ on a 109.04, so very quick starting lap for Filsell. Followed by about 2/10 is Bo Cubis. He's your main championship competitor at the moment, probably guy who's most in line to win it. Forzan El Nabi, really good result in P3. Joshua Rogers 4th. Corey Preston with a relatively good result in P5, and Paul Goal and Michael Cracknell, the SDC boys, in 6th and 7th. Adam Hyland will be happy with that result, actually. That's P8 for him. That's a really good result, as well as Brian Borg as well, 9th. Those guys are probably two unexpected ones up there. And Richard Elwood runs out your 10. Just seeing
over the page, Michael Brown in 11th with Jaden Borg in 12th. Jason Bentz, Michael Hammond to 13th and 14th from Laser Racing. 15th, Kazuki Iwashima, who we just saw on his lap there. 16th to Mario Vlasic and 17th, Ross Rizzo. 18th and 19th are Chris Coxhead and Aidan Ford. 20th is Daniel Trim. And over the page, the last 5 runners: Trent Thomas, Greg Sharp, 21st, 22nd. Carlos M. Garcia is 23rd. David Miller, 24th. And the last car on the grid with no time is Dale Nish.
Nishi actually started very late in qualifying. He's actually only going for his first lap now. He should get the first done. He won't get a second, but hopefully he can bring it home in this first lap and maybe get somewhere a bit further up than last, because if Corey Preston's pace is anything to go by, these JMSR guys aren't doing too bad for pace this week.
So we've really jumped the gun there, Jake. Everyone has done the laps and we're like, nah, everyone's good. And then Nishi comes out here and see what he can do. I think he'll probably pop it in around Corey, probably 15th to 10th is my bet.
Yeah, that would be about what I'd think as well. The thing is, Sam, such a short track is Watkins Glen. 3.91 k's is pretty long, but you're going so fast all the time that just goes by in a breeze. So 25 laps will go by like nothing tonight for these guys. So you know, Sam, we did 50 the other night and that didn't even feel that long. So 25 will be really short.
Yeah, you kind of get that 10 to go call from the spotter and you're like, where'd the last 15 laps go?
Oh, is Nish going to get a time? Did it count?
He did, he goes to 22nd.
Oh, okay, so only a minor improvement, but that was pushing it with the clock.
So it doesn't really affect the grid an awful lot, that last lap. He just pops up from 25th to 22nd and pushes Sharp, Garcia and Miller down one spot each.
Yeah, that's it. So it will be the top 10 that we mentioned at least will all remain constant. So Jared Filso will be your pole sitter. And going to be a fairly interesting race here. 25 laps. I'd say Filsell, Cubis, El Nabi, Rogers and Preston probably all have a chance at winning this race, given the nature of this track and the way draft keeps you in it. And then it'll probably be a pretty awesome battle between Goral, Crackers, Highland and Borg. So
I did hear a rumour going around that El Nabi was up there with Cubis in the early race tonight. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So just waiting for all the guys to grid up.
yeah, that's it. Obviously, Filsell probably pretty under practice, much like Rogers, but he's pulled out a pretty decent quali time, but whether he can replicate that over 25 laps, we're not sure. So we should mention, with about 40 seconds left before we're going to be going green now, that this is a non-pit stop race. These guys have got plenty of fuel to make it. Just stick it in and flat out sprint race.
Yeah, a bit of a theme of sprint racing. A lot of these guys would have sprinted last night for a race or two, and then we sprint again tonight. Generally brings out the more risky moves. Might see some Australia Post Express used in this race.
Yeah, not wrong. Also cool to see Josh Rogers. I mean, he always drives a Falcon, but you TTL boys have started driving Falcons all of a sudden. It's cool to make sure it's not Commodore Cup.
Oh, look. Got to make it look uniform. Plus, the TTL Falcon looks much more angrier than the TTL Commodore. But as the lights come up now,
Revs are starting to rise. It's going to be a green flag here at Watkins Glen, and they're away. Good start from Corey Preston, actually. He's going to get in front of Josh Rogers and might even have a run down at Falls and El
Brian
Navi down
Borg
to
right up
turn
against the
1.
pit wall as well, passing Michael Cracknell.
Oh, a bit of contact back in the field, but relatively easy. Elwood with a big moment. These cold tyres. Oh, there's a crash. Big crash coming into the S's.
Yep, we've just caught the back of that one there. We'll rewind real quick and grab a replay.
Yeah, what's happened there is Michael Cracknell's got loose out of turn 1 and actually collected his teammate Paul Gorrell, and that set off a big crash, collecting many other cars.
Got that on replay now. You can see Cracknell gets loose, goes into the outside of the Gorell, and then comes across and collects Borg. And that's very split too. Scott's reminiscent of that incident. A lot of cars involved to catch that all up once the standings sort themselves out.
Yeah, we're now looking at Bo Cubis and Josh Rogers. I'm looking at now coming into the second to last corner side by side.
Rogers are going to get him probably. Oh, he's on the grass now. He gets that back on there. He'll
Good
get him into
move.
turn 1. Sorry, the final corner.
Good move from Rogers there. So he's up 2 spots here.
I think Rogers has bottomed out as well, leaving the last corner.
Yeah, it definitely has. Forza and maybe a bit of a poorer start. So Rogers will be looking to chase down Phil Cell.
Yeah, the gap pretty out to the lead. Phil Cell to Rogers.
Cubis had a bit of a moment there, maybe just struggling a little bit on colder tyres, but Cubis should be able to stick onto the back of Josh Rogers and chase down Jared Filsell now. Actually a little bit disappointed I didn't have a run in this one, Sam. This looks awesome fun.
Oh, Watkins Glen's always a bit of fun. It's just a right-handed oval, and it can produce some great racing, as we've just seen Rogers made massive gains on the brakes.
Yeah, Filsell not looking comfortable in that bus stop. These longer corners, Filsell seems to be able to actually gap Rogers a little bit, but draft could be a big part of that. Obviously, the draft push hurts these cars quite a bit on the front end.
So the guys that are definitely seem to be out of the race at the moment are Brian Borg, Paul Gorrell and Michael Cracknell. Are still waiting for the timing loops to sort themselves out, and you can see who's in the pits or who's actually just sort of affected by that incident. But lap 3 begins. Phil Cell, Rogers, Cubis, El Nabi, Preston, your top 5. And they've kind of broken away here from Highland, who's got his own train forming behind him that goes all the way back to probably about 13th place with no message. In fact, no, all the way back to 16th with Dale Niche right on the back of it, as we're seeing now.
As I said though, Sam, it's going to be these top 5, I said, are going to be the ones who are able to win this race. The draft should be able to keep people like Corey and Forzan in there. But especially if these guys start battling, and they are closing up a lot. The top 3 separated by less than 7 or 8 tenths now. It's ridiculously close.
Rogers really is right out sideways on the exit of the bus stop.
He puts the power down nicely off the carousel though. Phil Cell not giving him any draft, just playing a bit of games here.
Phil Cell already running the ultimate line on lap 3. You really want to kind of be second place around 3 to go, and then leading on the last lap. It's easy to defend on the last lap. You've got track position, but if you can be in there with 3 to go, you've got the advantage to a degree. You can just play the draft, and Rogers is actually having some engine issues. It's blinking out for us.
And we've had Michael Cracknell actually leave the server, so that's race done for him. But yeah, Rogers probably, with this cold track, if we've already seen him go around the outside of Bo Cubis, it probably wouldn't be the worst thing if he just waited, and then even if Phil Sell used the alternate line, he could have a run around the outside of the second to last corner. On a cold track, it's absolutely doable, but Cubis now playing his cards smart, just letting Rogers sort of doesn't want to lose time to Phil Sell, does Cubis, so smart play by him at the moment.
Well, the thing is, the strategy for Rogers to sit there only worked if there's no one behind you, but with someone behind you, you've got to hurry on a bit, you feel the pressure to, I need to get in front of the guy. So for Rogers needs to get in front of Phil Sell to put a buffer between them, or else they're going to back up into El Nabi, which is already sort of happening.
Yeah, well, you might remember, Sam, at Le Mans, I was trying to have a run at Cubis, but all of a sudden Ethan caught me on the last lap and that screwed my strategy. So you're absolutely right there. Rogers is going to have to try and get the move done, or he is susceptible to third. But I honestly don't think you'll see much change for position in this top three until probably lap 15
Actually,
or 16.
As Rogers pokes the nose, you're going to get it stopped. He does. It's too wide up through the S's now. This is not going to work where Rogers has bad experience with this wall on the outside here. Does he? Oh, he nearly becomes a casualty of Mad's wall.
Cubis though.
Yeah, Cubis could follow Rogers through here on the inside. Also having a bit of a swerve there.
This is risky business. Phil Sell and Cubis too wide. There's contact.
Yes, Phil Sell shortcuts the first part of the bus stop, drops back to third. He's going to have a dive here into the carousel. He's given Cubis a touch. He's pushed him again. He's given him a serve, giving him a whack and then another whack, and Phil Sell goes through to second, and I think he might have been got a bit wrong done by Cubis in the bus stop there, and it's just kind of return serve. But Corey Preston looking on El Nabi in the background there for fourth. El Nabi down the inside of Cubis for third. He's turned him around, has he? No, he's gathered it up. Corey Preston's decided to do some rallycross as well.
Cubis has had a rough lap, hasn't he? Oh, now Corey's there as well.
I think there was a bit of netcode involved in the El Nabi Cubis hit, as well as that Corey Cubis hit just then. Because the angle I saw, it definitely looked like El Nabi had that pulled up and on the apex, and just been a netcode hit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say El Nabi probably had enough of an overlap.
No,
he was just turned into the corner and yeah.
It's official though, there's prison rules involved in here sometimes. I think what it's done is it's given the leaders a gap, 1.5 from Rogers to Phil Sell, another 1.5 back from Phil Sell to El Nabi. But the Highland train is still in full effect, it's chugging along nicely.
Don't want to give the commentators curse. Anyone watching the cricket on the weekend probably would have seen that, but Josh Rogers, I would say, probably has this almost in the bag now. Phil Sell's quick, but Rogers just seems to have the race pace over him, and we've seen that all race so far, so he should be able to stretch the legs, and now that he's broken the draft, which makes a huge difference. So
while that lead battle's settled down, we're going to go and watch the Highland Express. It's a train from 6th to 16th that is being led by Adam Hyde. Actually, it goes probably about to 14th, and then they drop a few cars after that.
That is a big train, isn't it?
It's quite a sight when it exits the S's.
Interestingly as well, Kazuki Mishima's actually made a couple of positions, probably partly because of that first lap accident, but he's got the pace for all the guys in front of him, so definitely proving that the pro drivers are more racers than qualifiers in this car.
Well, we've got the gains and losses on the screen. The notable one, Michael Hammond up 6, Bence up 4, Niche and Sharp up 6. Mishima's up 3. I'm assuming some guys hit the fences.
I think Bence actually got Mad's wall pretty hard up there, just found some understeering, got it pretty hard.
Michael Hammond down the inside of Richard Aylward into the bus stop.
Oh, a little bit messy there on exit, a little bit sideways on the cold track, but managed to pull it up just fine.
So my timer just had a bit of a spasm. It says David Miller 10's in the lead, and I'm checking what's going on. So we saw some random camera shots there. It was just me making sure everything was still as it was. It is. Roger still leads the race.
Yeah, it's because David Miller's actually pulled over randomly coming out of turn 1 and gone back to the pits.
It was pulled down the inside of that. Looks like Jason Bence, but Bence back down the inside of the final corner.
Not a nice place to
so
go.
That's Michael Barron. That's not Jason Bence. That's my own mistake.
No, it's Jaden Borg and Jason Bence too wide now. Okay. Bence is going to have the inside line.
Shima's having a look as well.
Shima pulls it up on Michael Barron. It's going to be too wide up the S's now between these two. Umashima should have him clear, gives it a little bit of a slide job there. slides up into line and blocks Barron, but now Barron's susceptible to Vlasic. Here
Barron,
comes Vlasic.
I might have a netcode hit there with the exit of Mads wall.
Vlasic will maybe have a lunge here. Oh, he's shown a nose. Not going to quite be enough this time.
Up front's very settled still, so we'll keep our eyes to the back of the pack. It's still Rogers from Phil Cell, from El Navi, Cubis and Preston. They're all about a second and a half apart.
Yeah, we'll see what time Fuel Cell does this time, but Fuel Cell was about a tenth and a bit quicker than Rogers last time by.
Oh, Umashima's around! Umashima's around! He's just spun out of the second to last corner.
Not hard to do there.
Yeah, he's done he's going to join back, Trent Thomas didn't collect him. He's just put the nose into the wall, no real damage on that car, but he's underway again.
Yeah, Kazuki Umashima, a very, very, very good driver, but very clearly new to this V8 Supercar.
And the Highland train has lost some of its carriages. Michael Barron is now the head wagon leader of that train.
Yeah, just a bit of an...
Fox and Rizzo behind him.
Yeah, that train's looking pretty tough at the moment, but just an update on the leaders. Rogers pulled out about half a tenth. There's nothing in these two at the moment, Sam. And the unfortunate thing for Phil Cell is he's lost 1.4 seconds, which takes laps and laps and laps to get back at a track like Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it requires some serious commitment and creative use of the track limits to get that time back.
Phil Cell did look a little bit quicker this time by. We'll check the times. It's going to be a 8.6 from Phil Cell to Rogers 8.9. So he's starting to bring it back. It's 1.2 seconds and he'll be within draft range shortly.
Yeah, you sort of get the speed boost and a time gain at about 1 to 1.5, and you get the tug just under 1. So he's in that window for the speed gain, but not sort of the tug up effect. It was just either actually hit Mads wall or he's clipped it by netcode.
Yeah, it'll probably just be a bit of a netcode clip, but El Navi actually quicker than Cubis last time by, extending his third place lead, so El Navi putting on quite a show.
Well, fastest laps of the race for the top 4 are all 108s. It goes Rogers on a 108.7, then Phil Cell on a 6, El Navi on an 8, Cubis on a 9, and then Preston's done a 108.8 as well. So they're all very close to his front 5.
And just checking in on the Highland train again. Michael Hammond got a good move on Adam Highland into the bus stop that time by, so that's going to promote him to P6.
Yeah, he's the head of that train now. It's sort of condensed again a bit with Hammond, Highland, and Betts in there.
Awesome drive from Mikey so far, actually. Up 8 spots.
Yeah, he didn't have a great qualifying, I think, and he's got the race pace. Or who's this? Jason Bentz having a look on Chado. He got a bit squirrely off the last corner. He's pulled back into line.
Aylward now having a look on Highland actually, so Highland's tipped in the rear, fair bit down at turn 1 there, so these guys are closing up. Bent's definitely the quickest of the 3.
We're just going to watch this battle for a second between Aylward and Bentz. I think Bentz might have a dig into the bus stop here. If he can get a run, Aylward's wide through the last part of the S's.
Yeah, Bent's knocked Mads wall a couple laps ago, so he's been pretty conservative up the S's, which has hurt him this time by, especially with this double draft, so Bent's just playing it safe at the moment. Highland's made a bit of an error coming out of the
he's sideways.
chicane.
Highland was right out sideways off the bus stop there. I thought he was going to pitch into the fence.
Yeah, he's definitely running loose in that car at the moment. Aylward is definitely closing. Much of a have a lunge corner, if you will. Borg just being patient as well. He's not looking to get any moves done just yet.
Sorry for the loss of audio. I have mute buttons bound to buttons on the keyboard and I use them to type, so it muted everything. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, mistake from Highland just then coming off the last corner. Aylward just doesn't seem to be able to put the power down as nicely as what Highland does. Definitely better under brakes, but just moments from both of them actually.
I think they're pushing each other to the absolute limit, and one of them's going to crack very shortly. Gap up front though, 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, Phil Cell quicker than Rogers once again, and he's now starting to feel that draft, so Phil Cell's on the move.
Phil Cell was 100th slower than his fastest lap of the race. In fact, they both set basically their fastest lap of the race last time by. Rogers did a 6.65. It's not officially going to count because he off-tracked it somewhere, but they are very, very close, these two at the front.
That's one thing these guys are going to want to be careful of as well, Sam. You know, from the Wednesday night race that we did, you can definitely abuse the incidents to find time, but they only have 17 to play with tonight, so you can't really afford any more than one every 2 or so laps.
Yeah, you can probably get, if you're doing it sort of okay, if you're pushing the track limits, you're getting about 2 a lap, one where they're going through now, and one up at the bus stop.
I'm just taking a look back.
Train though. It's reformed, it's rejoined, all the carriages are back. It's reformed again, it's quite a long train, it's a sight to see at Watkins Glen. In fact, Highland's got a bit of a break from Aylward, which is going to make him slightly vulnerable to bends.
Bents again though, just in that double draft, gone and knocked Mad's wall, so he's finding it really hard, a lot of mid-corner understeer in that lazy racing Commodore at the moment. But Aylward, you're absolutely right, all over. As he makes an
Aylward,
error.
very close to getting the slowdown there, I think. He's got to be just flirting with the limits of that there.
Yeah, he's just hooked that inside curve and it's pulled the nose around, so pretty ugly from Aylward, but that's alright, he's got it gathered up.
Well, when you are committed through the bus stop, as you see, that looks like Mario Vlasic having looked on the inside of Michael Barron in the back of shot.
Vlasic looks to the other side. Oh, now he's going to see... Oh no, Coxhead ran a little wide. He was going to be susceptible to Coxhead, but... Now,
as I was saying with the bus stop, sorry, he's jumped in again. Bent's, down the inside he goes.
Very late on the brakes.
He's got him cleared by T1, but could this be a crisscross from Aylward?
Doesn't quite have it. Bent's did a very good job under brakes there to get that clear, and now, hopefully without the double draft, should be able to chase down Adam Highland.
We'll see how that plays. It looks like he's got a good run up for the S, just on board with Hamburger Cam from Aylward.
Yeah, and I've just taken a look up front as well, Sam. Error from Josh Rogers last time by, and the gap's now 0.3 of a second.
Well, it doesn't need a number anymore, Jake. It's a visual 1 car length.
It's on, that's for sure, but you can see Rogers pushing that TTL Falcon hard at the moment. Nice driving.
Keep our eyes peeled at the front and let you know if anything major happens back in the pack.
Yeah, as we know, Sam, these two are good mates, so shouldn't be too much contact, and we can expect they're going to put on a hell of a show for us in this final 10 laps, as we now do have 10 to go. It's gone so quick.
Well, that's Watkins Glen for you. We've been going for what, about 15 odd minutes, and this race is nearly over. They've actually just had to deal with a lap car as well, I think. That looks like...
Was Brian Borg, I think.
Yeah, he was involved in the turn 1 shunt. So he's 9 laps off. So we've got 20 cars running. David Miller, Brian Borg, Aidan Ford, Paul Gorilla, Michael Cracknell are all out of the race. Not out, but they're many, many laps down. Brian Borg is 9 laps down.
And Phil Cell looks to actually be struggling a little bit in the draft here. The thing Rogers has had going for him is he's been in clear air all race, so he's just trying to do laps.
I don't know what the aero push or the front tyre was going to be like here, Jake. You probably know more about it being stuck behind me for about 50 laps the other night, but I wouldn't think it'd be too bad, the tyre wear on such a cold track. Or Rogers backs it in.
Still makes it fast somehow though. I think being it's a cold track, it shouldn't wear away the tyre that much, but it's more the balance that it's probably going to mess with. Obviously, if you're wearing the front a lot more than the rear, it's going to make the car a little bit bushy, and you can see that from Phil Cell at the moment.
Phil has a run, I think, a slight run, but he's kind of wasted it by sweeping to the right-hand side of the road. I see the point in doing it, and I also don't see the point. Like, sure, fill his mirrors, but you're just scrubbing speed for no reason doing that. Just go deep under the brakes, you might scare him a bit more, but of course Rogers doesn't look in the mirror that much.
Yeah, he's not a guy that's easily intimidated, that's for sure, but here comes Phil Cell. He just seems to have it on entry, but just doesn't have the pace Rogers has through the mid. Probably doesn't help as well that Rogers has got his classic internet spikes.
Yeah, Rogers with the old lag switch being engaged. Another gap that's closing up is El Nabi and Cubis. As I say that, it's just extended by about a tenth and a half.
Yeah, El Nabi maybe just with a bit of an error that lap by. Oh, Rogers a little bit wide if we might have caught.
I keep seeing them hit that wall every lap on my end, and all I think of is Watkins Glen in Scops, and Rogers just absolutely cleaned up that fence when he was chasing Phil Cell. So he's looking to not do that again.
Yeah, of course, that was pre-got good era for Rogers. He was fast, but he wasn't at that point where he could, maintain that over many laps. So it's definitely come a long way.
Phil Cell's got an interesting one. He's not going full to the left-hand side of the road now. He's just sort of a car width outside the wheel tracks of Rogers, just to sort of be there to. Because if you go full left, he knows you're just showing the nose and filling the mirrors. But if you sit just a little bit outside the line of the K, there's a bit more like, is he going to send it? Because he's in that spot, he's got a bit of draft, but he's also.
And the thing is Rogers knows that Phil Cell will send it. He's not the kind of guy who'll just fake. If he wants to have a lunge, Phil Cell will have a lunge. So
both of these guys are skilled in the art of sending it. Rogers known to wreck many a pit party with a wild send.
Not wrong. He's definitely written off a few of those Falcons in pit parties. But as you said at the beginning of the race, Sam, you said 3 to go was probably the number that Phil Cell will want to look for.
Or as I say, he is fully opposite lock, exiting the bus stop.
And then Rogers wide through the carousel, so this is going to give Phil Cell a big run. He could probably even have a lunge if he wanted, but he won't, I don't think.
Is he? He's got a very big run. No, it's better.
Not a corner you want to be too, knowing that Rogers can have the run on the outside.
You've got to be clear by probably the apex. Or you've got to be really, really mean and just run him out of the road. Apparently I'm hearing a big shunt somewhere.
I'm not too sure about that one. Vlasic's car is looking a little bit beat up. So Benz has dropped back.
Yeah, there's a big shunt somewhere. We're not going to rewind because it's fair way back. But it looks like we had a shunt between, I'm going to say Baron, Vlasic and Betts up to the S's. That's my guess.
It was into the bus stop. Mario's had a big lunge on Jaden Borg, and they were 3 wide, and he's actually hit Bentz from that. So a little bit of a desperate move there from Mario, but that's okay. Can't keep our eyes off this front battle.
Oh, Rogers in the grass again.
Yeah, once again, Phil Cell is probably just doing some R&D at the moment, realising that...
Right, now here we go, he's had a look. Oh, he's on the... locked the rears there. He didn't do the wind cup.
Rogers wasn't having any of that though. He just took the corner like it was normal.
Oh, he was never probably going to make it, and Rogers was going to give him just as much room as he needed, and he didn't need any. But another run down the front straight for Phil Cell. Is he going to have a look into turn 1? Yes. Oh, is he going to put up? Rogers turns out. Rogers has opened the steering.
Smart play by Rogers there. They're going to run 2 wide up the S's now. Phil Cell should be clear.
Who's more committed?
Oh, Phil Cell's going to be...
Rogers on the grass! Oh, hang on to that, Rogers. Then they're both going to the right side of the road, then back to the left. Rogers is on the rear brakes. He's right out sideways. He's drifting it through the bus stop. This is fantastic stuff from these
So
two.
is Phil Cell.
Not sure if V8 Supercars or Formula Drift at the moment, but this is the stuff we want to see. Great racing in the
Rogers has
official
got the run.
series.
He's going to probably look to the inside down here at...
Oh, he's not deep enough. Right, Phil Cell's gone deep as well, though.
Oh, it's going to be on the inside into 11 though, is Phil Cell. Rogers going to hold the outside.
Yeah, but he's going to have...
What a
Oh,
move.
Phil Cell drifted it.
He's got it.
Rogers, well done. Oh, Phil Cell tries to swipe the back of his car.
4 to go now. Phil Cell has another look.
This is just going to be the sending battle. Who's got the best Australia Post service at the moment?
Look at that for
Phil
track
Cell.
limits from
What
Phil Cell.
even is the track limit? Let's just mow some grass.
Alright, so Phil Cell now, we're coming up to that lap you spoke about. Next time by is going to be 3 to go. So Phil Cell's in prime position, but doesn't seem to have the pace Rogers does at the moment.
So sorry for he's nearly drilled. He's gone through the shortcut. Phil Cell's gone through the shortcut. That's going to drop him back about probably 1.5 to 2 seconds. I think Rogers has just won the race almost.
I half expected Phil Cell to come on the race line and just park the bus for Rogers there, but yeah, Phil Cell's still slowing down. That's going to be Rogers' race.
Although, with the pace he's just shown in the last couple of laps, I don't know.
Nah, it's
called it
more
very
than a
early.
second. It's more than a second, and it's 3 laps.
Yep.
Unless Rogers makes an error, it's going to be all his race. But very uncharacteristic mistake from Phil Cell there. Probably just racing a little bit hard. Got a bit excited, and
They both had the rear brakes locked into every corner for about 2 laps, and Phil Cell was about to centre punch that Falcon's boot very, very hard. He did the right thing in shortcut, but I'm hearing there's a big shunt back in the field again between Highland and someone.
well, he knew they put on a show, but yeah, it looks like Highland. I don't know where Highland is. Highland's actually only entering turn 10 now with a very beaten up Commodore, so not sure what's happened to him.
Yeah, 3 to go, but Highland's going to the pit lane with an extremely busted car.
Yeah, that was
I'm just going to watch this live gap because it was 2.3. It's down to 1.7.
yeah, Highland actually did that all on his own, just looking back, coming out of 9, so self-spin there and self-crash, but our race leaders, it's going to be into the last corner with 2 to go now for Josh Rogers.
Oh, Rogers is still committed. I want to see what their lap times are because this gap is closed. So Rogers does
8.5 from Phil Cell.
yeah, that's nearly a second far. Oh, an 8.8 on what I'm seeing. So half a second faster.
Oh, yep, my bad, just read the number wrong, but Jared Phil Cell is closing. It's now 1.2, but yeah, 2 to go. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, we want it to happen, but we'll see. Just looking back as well, Forzan's continuing to extend the lead. He's got P3 pretty well set over Bo Cubis, and Corey Preston all alone in P5.
Now, I'm hearing reports from the broadcast chat that Rogers and Phil Cell are both a lap short on fuel. But I'm thinking it's a bit of banter. I hope if it isn't, be great finish, but the way it's looking, Rogers of course has a very heavy right foot compared to everybody else in the field, and it's well known. And this pace from Rogers, or this lack of pace sort of we're seeing, and Phil Cell's uptake in pace, maybe down to a bit of fuel saving, but it is the white flag, 1 more lap to go. Rogers from Phil Cell.
Phil Cell's absolutely fanging it. There's no fuel saving going on there. 8.7 from Phil Cell to Rogers 9.1. So
well, he's within a second.
Flying.
He's within a second. If he can have a great braking performance into the bus stop, throw it into the carousel, he might have a chance for a wild bomb in the second to last corner.
Watch Phil Cell here. Let's just watch Phil Cell going into the bus stop. He is going to cut.
We're going to go on board.
Absolutely
We're going
everything.
on board with him, and we might actually go on board with the right front tyre.
Yeah, let's see. We'll watch him. Fangers it in. Not quite. He actually locked the brakes. He's still going to use it all on exit. Very deep into the carousel. He's actually not far away. For Phil Cell standard, this is almost dive bomb range.
For you, this is comfy braking distance as well, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. But
He's got to go. He's got to go very deep here.
Rogers.
He's got to go very deep again at the last corner. He's got to go extremely deep. Throw it in there, mate. No, but he's got to run to the line now. It's a long run to the
Is
line.
Rogers good for fuel though? Up to the line. Let's
Yeah,
see.
he should
Josh
be.
Rogers. Yeah, Josh Rogers is all good. Josh Rogers is going to be your winner.
Well,
for
nearly
round-
not.
Rogers
Really
coughed.
was not good for fuel at all.
Rogers coughed, but
What a finish.
nonetheless, Josh Rogers, your winner for round 8 of the iRacing V8 Supercar official online series at Watkins Glen. Jared Filsell is going to come home second. Forzan El Nabi in P3.
He's got
Great
enough
result
fuel
from
for
him.
skids.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that was just a little bit of banter between those two. But Bo Cubis has brought home 4th, so not a bad result for him, but probably not the result he wanted, and then a mile back to Corey Preston in 5th.
Yep, and we're just seeing hard for the results or cars coming across the line. We'll bring up the race results. So we
A
got
few guys still
Josh-
across the line.
Yeah, that'll sort it out once we get to those pages. We've got Josh Rogers taking the win by 0.07 of a second from Jared Filsell. Forzan El Nabi, after showing a bit of pace early on, dropped back from that pack to finish 5 seconds off in 3rd, backing up his win last week with a podium. And then Bo Cubis 4th with Corey Preston in 5th. Corey had a lot of fall off. He was nearly in the clutches of Michael Hammond there for 6th, and then Richard Aylward 7th. Jaden Borg 8th, Ross Rizzo 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Chris Coxhead.
And we're going to head over the page. P11, Greg Sharp, not a bad result from him from 23rd on the grid. I think he'd almost be our biggest mover of the race. Jason Bentz in P12th. Kazuki Umeshima up 2 places after that spin, so not a bad result from the Radicals Pro there. Trent Thomas in 14th, Daniel Trim 15th, Carlos Garcia in 16th, and our last car on the lead lap is going to be Highland after that big self-shunt. But Mario Vlasic 18th, 2 down, and everyone else, Michael Barron, Dale Nish, Brian Borg, David Miller, Aidan Ford, Paul Gorrell, Mick Cracknell, 6 laps or more down. So hard night for those guys.
Yeah, and it was a cracking result. We're going to take a quick break and see if anyone joins us for interviews. So that was round 8 of the V8 Supercars official series from Watkins Glen. Josh Rogers, your winner tonight, and we'll be back shortly after these quick breaks.
Welcome back, viewers. You just watched round 8 of the iRacing official online series. Good race, Rogers. We got our race winner in, Joshua Rogers for Team TTL. Good result, mate. Obviously come off a round win last night in the V8 Scops, and now jumped in with, I guess you could say, almost zero practice, and had an awesome little race with Jared there, mate. Well done.
Yeah, that was amazing fun. Official series always seems to turn it up in that respect, but fuel was quite tight at the end. I didn't really know how much fuel to put in at the start, and I don't know if you saw, but I started coughing up the line, and I don't know, almost got pipped.
Yeah, you say you're almost coughing at the line, mate, but you definitely did some burnout, so that's rather interesting. You find the reserve tank after the line?
Yeah. I was doing. Yeah. The burnouts were in the reserve tank. You know. I don't know. For me, I carry most of my fuel on board. Yeah, about 20 litres there, so bloody plenty of skids fuel.
I think the cough was just the right foot coming off that right-hand pedal, just to scare Phil Sell a bit. But it was still a good race, mate. And he nearly centre punched the boot of your Falcon there at a rapid rate of knots coming to the bus stop. When you went straight ahead, did you think you had this one?
Yeah. I don't know. He definitely had a lot of pace. I'll be honest, considering our practice. But yeah, it was awesome fun. Watkins always. It's a good track. I guess it's a bit of a draft fest. Draft plays a big play in the result and how you position the car and how you run the car. So, yeah, look, happy with that, and hope you guys enjoyed it too.
Yeah, it was a cracker race to watch, mate, and just a bit of a quote, everyone, from Josh Rogers. Draft always plays a lot to play. That was one we've just heard from Josh. So, great result tonight, mate. Obviously, we'll give you a chance to do your usual plug before we let you go.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Cheers to TTL for looking after us, and also Hyperstimulator too for looking after us and being our major sponsor. Cheers to them. And you boys too for putting on the broadcast.
Sweet as, mate. Next we're going to have in is Jared Philsell, P2, mate. A bit of a mistake in that last few laps, and let Rogers have it, mate. How was it?
Yeah, bit of lapse in concentration, I think. Completely missed the marker by probably 100 metres. Lucky I didn't spear him. But got lucky with the slowdown, actually. It started flashing at the end and get on the brakes just to clear it. So could have ended up well down the field.
We were sort of surprised by your pace at the end, Phil Sell, compared to Rogers, because you were battling each other. You're basically the same pace each other most of the race. In the last 5 or so laps, you just had a massive advantage of about half a second. Do you reckon he was saving a bit of fuel, or...?
Possibly. He's quite heavy on fuel, but I'll go speak to him after the race and get the lowdown. Yeah, I think we're racing Road America, but yeah. Yeah, no, that'll be good fun. Yeah, it'll be good fun. Hopefully it's a good race.
Yeah, Corey Preston in here tonight, mate. 5th place. Not a bad result, but we know you probably would have to have been up there at least with Bo and Forzan. So tell us a little bit about how tonight went, mate.
It nearly didn't go tonight at all, buddy. Lap 24, if you've got the replay. Check that out, because that was rather embarrassing. I absolutely just stuffed it into the wall. Second last corner. And, yeah.
We did spot the large gap that had formed between you and Cubis at the end of the race, and we wondered whether something had happened, but that checks out. Corey Preston in the fence somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that, actually.
Well, before that, your race was pretty good. You were in that top 5 train at the start of the race, and then you sort of dropped off once the Phil Cell and Rogers broke away. You had trouble sticking with Cubis. Was that just lack of pace, or was Cubis just a bit better tonight?
I definitely had the pace to go with Forzan, and that just I got screwed over when everybody checked up at the chicane or the bus stop, I think, and I had to take avoidant action not to hit falls on, and that put me back a little bit. And once you're out of that 1.5 second gap, that's it. You lose the draft almost. So yeah, that and I was on the wrong ratio. I forgot to put 1.0 back in the car, so I was running around with 104.2, I think. So yeah, very good everywhere else except the straight.
Oh well, mate, tough night in the office, but next week we head to Phillip Island, obviously a track that you will have raced fairly recently in the V8 Scops. Wasn't the best round for you in Scops, but still looking forward to that one.
I have nightmares about Phillip Island. I hate it. Not really looking forward to Phillip Island, but yeah, I suppose we'll have to give it a go, eh? See what happens.
That's Corey Preston, guys, from P5. And I believe, Sam, that's our last guy who come in and have a chat to us tonight.
Time this week, and I've just figured out I think something was sitting wrong. So that's odd what's going on with the interviews, because the mic works fine until I get to interviews and then it goes crazy. So we'll sort that out for
Oh, well, that's a shame, mate. But obviously, just got to remind our viewers of the events we've got coming up. Obviously, the grand finale for the V8 Scops we'll have on November 27th, which is 2 weeks yesterday, I believe. No, sorry, 3 weeks yesterday. So be sure to tune in for that one, as well as the weekly official series races, which we will try and find a caster for. And Sam, I know a lot of the teams are going to be trying to have a go at qualifying for the Blancpain World Championship Series, of which the qualifying series starts this weekend.
yeah, TLR, they've all sort of teamed up again. I think you're in one of the cars there. That'll be an ERA are in there. I think DCM might have to requalify. Fusion Sim Racing are going to be up there as well. I don't know what's going on with all the teams, but it should be a lot of Australians having a crack and see if we can get some more for next year.
Yeah, that's it, Sam. Obviously, the Aussies taking it the world. Well, we'd like to thank anyone who tuned in to have a watch tonight. This has been Jake Burton and Sam Sutton for V8s Online, your Round 8 winner, Joshua Rogers. Catch you next time, guys.
A few years ago, members of the iRacing V8 Supercar community came together to articulate an idea. Then, on August 10, 2014, the V8 Supercars Online Premier Series had its first race day at Circuit of the Americas, and Madison Down claimed the victory.
Madison Down, the winner. Phil
You were the same all race.
Third, your podium, and Sean Kelly not far off it in fourth. For what a result, what a race.
This first test season, however, would go to TTL's Richard Hampstead. 2015 was a defying year in V8 Scops, the first year-long championship in iRacing V8 Supercar history. The season was filled with many highs and lows. Few drivers were triumphant, most faced heartbreak. Young gun Jared Filsell was crowned our champion. But in 2016, it's a new championship and a new opportunity for our passionate sim racers.
Yeah.
Who will be champion?